Our top story, will anyone be held guilty for corruption in the AgustaWestland scam? Even as this budget session of Parliament is constantly adjourned, with the BJP and the Congress almost coming to blows over the chopper scam.
Well, that is the big question. Speaking exclusively to NDTV in Frankfurt, the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, he said, while the government has proof that someone took a bribe in the 3,600 crore scam, they don't have enough proof to nail anyone.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is here in Frankfurt for the Asian Development Bank meeting, literally for 12 to 13 hours. Mr. Jaitley, you've had a very, very hectic schedule. But while you've been here as the governor representing India, back home there's been literally chaos in Parliament, Parliament rocked by the AgustaWestland issue. What is the government strategy here on the VVIP chopper scam?
Well, I don't think there's been chaos. There's been a legitimate debate in Parliament, which is quite understandable because it's an important issue. The government strategy is very clear. There's nobody in particular that we want to target. But the truth must come out. And the facts are, which everybody accepts, that the transaction was vitiated by collateral considerations. Even the UPA government claims that they blacklisted Augusta. Obviously, they didn't blacklist Augusta, but they suspected something had gone wrong.
Right.
The bribe givers back home in Italy have been convicted. The transaction has been cancelled. Middlemen on both sides have been identified. Who received the benefit? That's the only question. I am not saying that today you have enough proof to nail somebody, but certainly there is good reason to suspect that somebody has received the bribes. If there is a bribe giver, there must be a bribe taker. And those who influence the contract have a lot to answer. Is it or is it not a good ground which is a launching pad for a proper investigation? And in that investigation, the truth must come out.
Right.
Secondly, I am also conscious of the fact that even though the offence takes place vis-a-vis India, the evidence is located overseas.
Right.
And therefore, the investigative agencies will have to send, which they have sent,
CBI
letterogatories all over the world.
Right.
And other countries have to cooperate in this, because you can't have United Nations Convention against corruption and give speeches against corruption and don't internationally cooperate with each other as far as corruption is concerned. So I think the core issue is, who is the bribe taker? If any innocent person is being named, that innocent person will get the benefit once the real culprits are identified. And the real culprits in such a transaction should be identified.
But in this case, the government is not naming anybody. The sense that one had was that you were saying there is enough evidence to understand who exactly...
I think you have a valid point. You see, in any criminal investigation, there are 4 stages. The first is reason to suspect, on which you start an investigation.
Right.
The next is reason to believe.
Right.
You file a charge sheet. Prima facie case, you frame a charge. And beyond reasonable doubt, you convict a person. Today, with all these notings in diaries and bribe givers being convicted, there is a good reason to suspect. So, investigation. Once you get corroborative evidence against individuals, it will be reason to believe.
And that is not there as yet.
I think that's the stage where you should definitely then start saying that so-and-so prima facie has received bribe. And that's the stage you have to say. Today, the names which are floating around give rise to a suspicion that those people may probably have to give an explanation.
But there is no clear evidence just yet.
You see, evidence comes as a result of investigation.
Right.
And I'm sure the fact that names are being mentioned in somebody's diaries is a suspicious circumstance at best.
But the Congress has rubbished all the allegations, even in the debate in Parliament or otherwise. They simply are refuting any of those allegations.
I don't think they should rubbish the allegations. The very fact that they had to cancel the contract itself means there is something substantive in the allegations. So they shouldn't rubbish the allegations. When they start rubbishing the allegations, they give rise to a second suspicion that the cap fits them. So they should, instead of rubbishing the allegations, say, we will cooperate in the investigation to find out the truth. And the truth will help us that we are not guilty.
Right, so what will be the government strategy here on? Already investigative agencies are on the job, but here on, given the fact that now there is fresh evidence, what will be the government strategy in dealing with the matter here?
I think the government's strategy is very clear. The investigation agencies must be given a free hand to honestly and objectively investigate the crime and identify the people who are the beneficiaries.